Have you ever thought about a world without physical cash, where every single transaction, from buying a coffee to paying your rent, happens right on your phone? It sounds like something from a sci-fi movie, right? Well, for hundreds of millions of people across Africa, this isn't science fiction. It's their daily reality. And by 2026, this reality is set to explode in a way the rest of the world can barely imagine. This isn't just about convenience. It's a full-blown economic revolution, and it's happening right now. So, what exactly is mobile money? Forget about Apple Pay or Google Wallet linked to your credit card. For most people in Africa, the journey started with something much simpler. A basic feature phone, not even a smartphone. Imagine sending money as easily as you send a text message. That's the core idea. Companies like M-Pesa, which launched in Kenya way back in 2007, pioneered this. They realized that while many people didn't have bank accounts, almost everyone had a mobile phone. This was a game changer. Suddenly, a farmer in a remote village could receive payment for his crops instantly, without having to travel for hours to the nearest town. A daughter working in the city could send money back home to her parents securely, without relying on risky cash handovers. It bypassed the entire traditional banking system, which was often inaccessible, expensive, and just not built for the average person. This simple SMS-based system quickly evolved. Today, mobile money is a sophisticated ecosystem. You can pay utility bills, get small loans, pay for insurance, and even invest, all from your phone. It's become a digital wallet, a bank, and an investment platform rolled into one. And it's not just for individuals. Small businesses are thriving because of it. A street vendor can now accept digital payments, expanding her customer base and keeping her earnings secure. This creates a digital footprint, which then allows her to access credit that was previously out of reach. It's a powerful cycle of financial inclusion and empowerment. Let's look at the numbers, because they are absolutely staggering. Sub-Saharan Africa is the global epicenter of mobile money. In 2023, the region processed over $1 trillion in mobile money transactions. That's trillion with a T. There are more mobile money accounts in the region than traditional bank accounts. We're talking about over 850 million registered accounts, with nearly 200 million of them active every month. This isn't a niche market. It's the mainstream financial system for a huge part of the continent. But why Africa? Why did this revolution take root here so strongly? It was the perfect storm of conditions. First, as we mentioned, there was low banking penetration. Traditional banks were concentrated in urban areas and catered mostly to the wealthy. Second, mobile phone adoption was skyrocketing. Even in the most remote areas, people had access to a mobile network. And third, there was a culture of remittances, people sending money to support their families. Mobile money provided a perfect solution to a very real problem. Now let's fast forward to 2026. Why is this year so significant? Several key trends are converging that are set to supercharge this already explosive growth. The first is the rise of the smartphone. While feature phones kicked things off, smartphone penetration in Africa is growing rapidly. This opens the door for more complex and user-friendly apps, moving beyond simple text-based transactions to rich, app-based experiences. Think QR code payments, biometric security, and seamless integration with e-commerce platforms. The second major driver is interoperability. In the early days, you could only send money to someone who used the same mobile money provider. It was like not being able to call someone just because they were on a different phone network. But now, regulators and providers are pushing for systems that talk to each other. This means you can send money from your MTN account to an Orange account or a Vodacom account frictionlessly. This network effect is incredibly powerful. The more people and businesses are connected, the more valuable the entire system becomes. And the third, perhaps most exciting trend, is the African Continental Free Trade Area. This historic agreement aims to create a single market for goods and services across the continent. Imagine a trader in Nigeria easily paying a supplier in Ghana, or a tourist from South Africa paying for a safari in Tanzania, all using their local mobile money app. This will require seamless cross-border payment systems, and mobile money is perfectly positioned to be the backbone of this new integrated African economy. By 2026, we'll see significant progress in making this vision a reality. This isn't just about technology. It's about people. Think of a young entrepreneur in Lagos who can now source materials from Kenya and sell their products to customers in Egypt, all facilitated by mobile money. Think of the new wave of fintech startups building innovative solutions on top of these mobile money platforms, from microinsurance for farmers to savings platforms for students. This is unleashing a wave of creativity and economic opportunity that is transforming lives. Of course, the road ahead isn't without its challenges. Cybersecurity is a huge concern. As the value of transactions grows, so does the attention of fraudsters and hackers. Regulators need to keep pace, creating frameworks that protect consumers without stifling innovation. There are also issues of digital literacy. Not everyone is comfortable with digital technology, and ensuring that no one is left behind in this transition is crucial. But the momentum is undeniable. The African mobile money story is a powerful example of what is known as leapfrog innovation. The continent didn't just copy the financial models of the West. It skipped over the age of credit cards and brick-and-mortar banks and jumped straight into a mobile-first future. In many ways, the rest of the world is now playing catch-up. So, as we look towards 2026, what we're seeing is the maturation of this revolution. It's moving from being a tool for financial inclusion to being the engine of a digitally native, interconnected African economy. The innovation we're seeing isn't just about moving money. It's about building new markets, empowering entrepreneurs, and creating a more prosperous future for over 1 billion people. Next time you hear about Africa, don't just think about safaris and ancient history. Think about the vibrant, dynamic, and incredibly innovative digital economy that is being built, one mobile transaction at a time. The future of finance might not be coming from Wall Street or Silicon Valley. It might just be in the palm of your hand, in a bustling market in Nairobi or Accra. It's a story of incredible ingenuity, and it's only just getting started. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. When you think of fintech innovation in Africa, what's the first thing that comes to mind? For many, it's the revolutionary M-Pesa. It completely changed the game for mobile money in Kenya and beyond, showing the world how to bank the unbanked. But that was just the beginning. Today, a new wave of technology is washing over the continent, promising a transformation that could be even more profound. I'm talking about blockchain. So, what exactly is blockchain? Imagine a digital ledger, a bit like a shared spreadsheet, that's duplicated and distributed across a massive network of computers. Every time a new transaction happens, it's added as a block to this chain. The incredible part is that once a block is added, it's permanent and can't be altered. This creates a secure, transparent, and tamper-proof record of everything. It's the technology that powers cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, but its potential goes way, way beyond that. Now, let's look at Africa. It's a continent with incredible diversity, energy, and a young, tech-savvy population. But it also faces some unique financial challenges. According to the World Bank, a huge portion of the adult population still doesn't have access to formal banking services. Cross-border payments can be slow, expensive, and complicated. And for many small businesses, getting a loan can feel like an impossible dream. This is where blockchain comes in, not as a replacement for systems like M-Pesa, but as the next evolutionary step. One of the biggest game changers is in remittances. Millions of Africans living and working abroad send money home to support their families. Traditionally, this process is plagued by high fees, with intermediaries taking a significant cut. Blockchain-based platforms are changing this. By cutting out the middlemen, they can make sending money across borders almost instantaneous and drastically cheaper. Imagine sending $100 and having nearly all of it arrive in your family as wallet within minutes, not days. Companies are already building solutions on networks like Stellar and Ripple to make this a reality, putting more money back into the pockets of the people who need it most. Then there's the challenge of financial inclusion. For many people in rural areas, the nearest bank branch might be hours away. They might not have the official documentation required to open a traditional bank account. Blockchain offers a powerful alternative through decentralized digital identities. This allows individuals to build a secure, verifiable identity on the blockchain, controlled entirely by them. This digital ID can then be used to access a whole range of financial services, from opening a crypto wallet to applying for a microloan, all from a simple smartphone, without ever needing to step into a physical bank. Let's talk about trade and commerce, the lifeblood of any economy. Small and medium-sized enterprises, or SMEs, are the backbone of African economies, but they often struggle with access to trade finance. The paperwork is complex, and the costs can be prohibitive, especially when dealing with international suppliers. Blockchain-based smart contracts are set to revolutionize this. A smart contract is essentially a self-executing contract with the terms of the agreement directly written into code. So, for example, a payment to a supplier could be automatically released from an escrow account the moment the young pay. Blockchain verifies that the goods have been delivered. This builds trust, reduces fraud, speeds up the entire process, and opens up global markets to even the smallest businesses. And it doesn't stop there. Think about land ownership. In many parts of the continent, land records are paper-based, insecure, and prone to disputes or corruption. Putting land registries on the blockchain creates an immutable, transparent record of ownership that is publicly verifiable. This provides security for landowners, reduces fraud, and makes it easier to use land as collateral to get loans, unlocking immense economic value. Governments in countries like Ghana and Kenya have already started exploring pilot projects for this very reason. Of course, the road ahead isn't without its bumps. There are still significant hurdles to overcome. Regulatory frameworks are still evolving as governments try to understand and adapt to this new technology. Digital literacy and access to reliable internet are still challenges in many regions. And we can't ignore the volatility often associated with the cryptocurrency side of blockchain. Education is key. People need to understand not just the opportunities, but also the risks involved. But despite these challenges, the momentum is undeniable. A vibrant ecosystem of startups, developers, and innovators is emerging across the continent, from Lagos to Nairobi, Cape Town to Cairo. They aren't just copying models from the West. They are building uniquely African solutions for African problems. They understand the local context and are leveraging blockchain to leapfrog traditional financial infrastructure. So, while M-Pesa laid the groundwork by putting a bank in everyone's pocket, blockchain is building the superhighway for a new generation of financial services. It's about more than just sending money. It's about creating a more open, inclusive, and efficient financial system for everyone. It's about empowering individuals, fueling entrepreneurship, and securing property rights. The story of finance in Africa is being rewritten as we speak. The pioneers of mobile money showed the world what was possible. Now, the architects of the blockchain era are building the future. It's a future that is decentralized, transparent, and full of opportunity. This isn't science fiction. It's happening right now, block by block. The next decade is going to be incredibly exciting to watch. What do you think? Do you believe blockchain is the key to Africa's financial future? What are some of the most exciting projects you've seen? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever thought about what the future of money looks like? For many of us, it's about tapping a card or clicking a button. But what if I told you that for an entire continent, the future is being built right now, from the ground up, with a technology many still find mysterious? Today, we're diving deep into Africa's incredible leapfrog moment, where blockchain isn't just a buzzword, it's becoming the backbone of a new financial revolution. Let's set the scene. For decades, a huge portion of Africa's population has been unbanked or underbanked. Think about it. Limited access to physical bank branches, high fees, and complex paperwork have left millions of people locked out of the formal financial system. This isn't just an inconvenience. It means it's harder to save money securely, get a loan to start a business, or even send money to family without paying outrageous fees. Traditional banking infrastructure just hasn't kept up with the needs of a dynamic and youthful continent. But where some see challenges, others see a massive opportunity. And that's where the story gets exciting. Africa has a history of leapfrogging outdated technology. Remember landlines? While the rest of the world was busy laying down miles of copper wire, Africa jumped straight to mobile phones. This created a mobile-first continent, and that very innovation is now paving the way for the next great leap. A jump directly into decentralized finance, or DEFI, powered by blockchain. So what is blockchain really? Forget the complicated jargon for a second. At its core, a blockchain is like a digital public ledger, a super secure, shared notebook that everyone can see, but no one can change without agreement. Every transaction is a new entry, or a block, which is cryptographically linked to the previous one, forming a chain. This makes it incredibly transparent and resistant to fraud. It's a system built on trust, but without needing a central authority like a traditional bank to verify everything. This is a game changer for Africa. Imagine you're a farmer in a rural village. You don't have a bank account, but you have a basic smartphone. With a blockchain-based app, you can now receive payments for your crops instantly, without a middleman taking a huge cut. You can send money to your kids in the city for a fraction of the cost of traditional remittance services. You can even access microloans based on your transaction history, all recorded securely on the blockchain. This isn't science fiction. This is happening right now across the continent. Companies are sprouting up, tackling real-world problems. We're seeing platforms that allow for cross-border payments that are faster and exponentially cheaper than old-school wire transfers. Think about the impact on intra-African trade, which has historically been crippled by currency conversion issues and slow banking processes. With stablecoins, cryptocurrencies pegged to a stable asset like the US dollar, businesses can transact across borders with minimal volatility and delay. Let's talk about remittances. Africans living abroad send billions of dollars home every year. But traditional services can skim off as much as 10% or more in fees. That's billions of dollars lost. Blockchain platforms are cutting those fees down to less than 1%. That means more money goes directly into the pockets of families, funding education, healthcare, and local economies. It's a direct injection of capital where it's needed most. And it's not just about payments. Blockchain is unlocking new possibilities for financial identity. For the millions without official ID documents, building a credit history is nearly impossible. But with a decentralized digital identity, your transaction history on the blockchain can become your financial footprint. It can prove your reliability and creditworthiness, opening doors to loans and other financial products that were previously out of reach. This builds financial inclusion from the individual up. Of course, the road isn't perfectly smooth. There are still significant hurdles. Internet connectivity, while improving, can be patchy in some rural areas. Digital literacy is another challenge. People need to understand how to use these new tools safely and effectively. And then there's the regulatory landscape. Governments across the continent are figuring out how to approach this new technology. Some are embracing it, creating sandboxes for innovation, while others are more cautious. But the momentum is undeniable. The combination of a young, tech-savvy population, soaring mobile penetration, and a clear need for better financial services has created the perfect storm for blockchain adoption. Africa isn't just adopting a technology. It's adapting it, shaping it to solve its unique challenges. We're seeing a wave of homegrown innovation, with African developers and entrepreneurs building solutions for Africans. This isn't just about catching up to the rest of the world. In many ways, Africa is leading the charge, showing what's possible when you build a financial system for the 21st century without being tied down by the legacy systems of the 20th. It's a story of empowerment, giving individuals more control over their financial lives. It's a story of efficiency, breaking down old barriers to trade and commerce. And it's a story of innovation, born out of necessity and fueled by incredible human ingenuity. The future of banking might not be in a marble-halled building downtown. It might just be in the palm of your hand, powered by a decentralized network that connects a continent and empowers its people. What we are witnessing in Africa is more than just a technological shift. It's an economic and social transformation. It's Africa's leapfrog moment, and the world should be paying close attention. Ever heard of M-Pesa? If you haven't, you've been missing out on one of the biggest financial revolutions of the 21st century. Forget tap-to-pay cards or fancy banking apps for a moment. In Africa, the future of money arrived over a decade ago, and it ran on the simplest of devices, a basic feature phone. This is the story of mobile money, a system that leapfrogged traditional banking and empowered hundreds of millions of people. But now, this revolution is getting an upgrade, a massive, game-changing upgrade. We're talking about taking Africa's world-leading mobile money system and putting it on the blockchain. What does that mean? It means lower fees, faster transactions, and unprecedented access to the global economy for an entire continent. Forget what you think you know about finance. The real innovation isn't happening in Silicon Valley or on Wall Street. It's happening in Nairobi, Lagos, and Accra. And today, we're diving deep into how blockchain is set to supercharge Africa's financial future. To really get why this is such a huge deal, we need to travel back to 2007 in Kenya. At the time, for most people, sending money to family in a rural village meant a long, expensive bus journey or trusting a driver to carry a wad of cash. Banks were for the wealthy, located only in big cities with high fees and endless paperwork. It just wasn't an option for the average person. Then, a telecom company called Safaricom launched a service named M-Pesa. The M stands for mobile, and Pesa is Swahili for money. The idea was stunningly simple. Turn your phone number into a bank account. You could deposit cash with a local agent, often just a small corner shop, and that money would be converted into digital credit on your phone. Then, using simple text messages, you could send that credit to anyone, anywhere in the country, instantly. The receiver could then go to their local agent and cash it out. It was secure, it was fast, and it was accessible to everyone with a mobile phone, which was almost everybody. The impact was explosive. M-Pesa spread like wildfire. Suddenly, a market vendor in a remote village could pay her supplier in the city without leaving her stall. A son working in Nairobi could send money home to his mother for medical bills in minutes. Small businesses blossomed because they could now accept digital payments. It wasn't just about convenience. It was about economic empowerment on a scale never seen before. It lifted families out of poverty, enabled education, and created a new digital economy from the ground up. Soon, similar services popped up all across sub-Saharan Africa. Today, the continent accounts for 70% of the world's mobile money value, with transactions worth trillions of dollars. It's a system built for the people, by the people, bypassing the old, clunky infrastructure that had left so many behind. Africa didn't just adopt mobile money. It perfected it and showed the rest of the world how it's done. But even a revolutionary system has its limits. While mobile money is incredible within a single country, sending money across borders is still a major headache. Imagine a Ghanaian merchant trying to pay a supplier in Nigeria. They're dealing with different currencies, different mobile money providers, and a web of intermediary banks that all take a cut. Transaction fees can be incredibly high, sometimes up to 10 or 20%. And the process can take days, trapping crucial capital in limbo. These are the same old problems of traditional finance, just creeping back into the mobile ecosystem. Furthermore, while mobile money is great for payments, it doesn't easily connect users to the broader world of finance, like investments, international e-commerce, or decentralized applications. The system is powerful, but it's operating within walled gardens. How do you break down these walls? Well, this is where the blockchain comes in. Enter the next chapter of Africa's financial story. Blockchain technology, the same engine that powers cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum, offers a way to do what mobile money did, but on a global scale. At its core, a blockchain is a shared, unchangeable digital ledger. When a transaction happens, it is recorded in a block and added to a chain that everyone on the network can see. This makes it incredibly secure and transparent. No single company or government controls it. Think of it as a global, neutral platform for moving value. Startups across Africa are now harnessing this power to build the next generation of financial services. They're recreating systems where you can send money from a mobile money account in Kenya directly to one in Ghana, instantly, and for a fraction of a cent. How? By using the blockchain as a bridge. Here's a simplified look at how it works. A user in Kenya initiates a transfer from their M-Pesa account. On the back end, a blockchain platform instantly converts their Kenyan shillings into a stable coin, a type of cryptocurrency pegged to a stable asset like the US dollar. This digital dollar is then sent across the blockchain network in seconds to Nigeria. At the destination, it's automatically converted into Nigerian naira and deposited into the recipient's mobile money account. The entire process is seamless for the users. All they see is money leaving one account and appearing in another, almost instantly. They don't need to know anything about crypto or blockchain. But behind the scenes, this technology is eliminating the slow, expensive middlemen that plagued traditional cross-border payments. Companies like Chipper Cash and Eversend are already making this a reality for millions, processing billions of dollars in payments and cutting remittance costs dramatically. But it goes way beyond just cheaper remittances. Blockchain opens the door to a whole universe of decentralized finance, or DeFi. This is where it gets really exciting. Imagine a farmer in rural Uganda being able to get a loan, not from a local bank with impossibly high interest rates, but from a global pool of lenders through a decentralized app on their phone. The loan's terms are transparently coded into a smart contract on the blockchain, and their good repayment history is recorded on an immutable ledger, building a credit score that can be recognized anywhere in the world. This isn't science fiction. The building blocks are being laid right now. Blockchain can provide the trust and transparency needed to unlock financial services that were previously out of reach. It allows for fractional ownership, meaning someone could invest just a few dollars in tokenized real estate or stocks from global markets, something that's impossible with the current system. This isn't just about copying financial products from the West. It's about creating entirely new ones, tailored to local needs. For example, communities can create their own savings and loan circles, known as Susu or Chama, on the blockchain. These informal groups are a cornerstone of African society, but they rely on social trust. By using smart contracts, they can be formalized and scaled, making them more secure and efficient without losing their community-centric spirit. We're also seeing the rise of blockchain-based identity solutions. For many people, the lack of a formal government-issued ID is a huge barrier to opening a bank account or accessing services. Blockchain can create a secure, self-sovereign digital identity that the user controls, unlocking access to the formal economy. It is a fundamental shift from a system where you need permission from a central authority to a system where you are empowered by default. Now, let's be realistic. This transition won't happen overnight. There are significant challenges to overcome. Internet access, while growing rapidly, is still not universal or consistently reliable in many areas. Smartphone penetration is rising, but many people still rely on basic feature phones that can't run complex apps. And then there's the issue of regulation. Governments across the continent have mixed views on cryptocurrency and blockchain. Some are embracing it, creating sandboxes for innovation, while others are cautious or even hostile, fearing loss of control over their monetary systems. Education is another massive hurdle. The concepts behind blockchain can be complex, and building trust in a new, decentralized system takes time and effort. We need to avoid the hype and speculation that often surrounds crypto and focus on building real, tangible solutions that solve everyday problems. However, the momentum is undeniable. A wave of brilliant African developers, entrepreneurs, and innovators are leading this charge. They aren't just importing technology. They are building it, shaping it, and adapting it to the unique context of the continent. They understand the problems firsthand because they've lived them. This is a grassroots movement, fueled by a desire for economic sovereignty and a belief in a more equitable financial future. The fusion of Africa's mobile-first mindset with the decentralized power of blockchain is a potent combination. While the West debates the merits of crypto, Africa is busy building its future with it. The continent that showed the world the power of mobile money is now poised to lead the next financial revolution. The story is just beginning, and it's one of the most important technology stories happening in the world today. So what does this all mean for the future? We are looking at a future where financial borders become increasingly irrelevant. A future where a small business in Kampala can effortlessly trade with a customer in São Paulo. A future where getting a loan, buying insurance, or investing in your future is as easy as sending a text message. For everyone, regardless of where they live or how much money they have. Africa's journey with mobile money was about financial inclusion. This next phase, powered by blockchain, is about financial empowerment and integration into the global economy on its own terms.